If there's been one piece of tech that I've gotten a lot of questions about in the last year, it's definitely been my car, the 2021 Tesla Model 3. Now, this isn't going to be your typical Model 3 review. There's already plenty of those on YouTube. I'm just going to talk about what I really like about the car and why I'm sticking with it. Teslas are often perceived as futuristic and cool from a design standpoint, and I have to agree. I mean, the exterior is sporty and sleek, and it is built around aerodynamics. It's also a recognizable design. Many people know what Teslas look like. The exterior also doesn't take any styling cues from any brand out there really, which separates this car from anything else on the road, much like the Model S. Now the interior of the Model 3 is not like any other car I've driven before. You just have the one large screen in the center of the dash that controls almost everything in the car, with the exception of the stalks. There has been criticism of the minimal interior of the car, but I actually really like it. When I was first learning how to drive, I never really understood why there were so many buttons and dials on the dashboard in regular cars. It just felt too cluttered, it didn't make sense to me. Teslas are very straightforward and only put what you will use often as stocks and on the touchscreen. It also feels like there's a lot more room in the car, and I think that's thanks to the glass roof. Now the vegan leather seats are a staple in Tesla's lineup, with them basically pioneering the idea. It feels and looks like leather to any non-enthusiast, but to someone who perhaps is slightly more perceptive, you may notice a difference in the grain or feel of the vegan leather. A huge benefit of the vegan leather is how easy it is to clean. That's actually one of the main reasons why I went with the white interior for my car. Since it is synthetic, it doesn't have to be cleaned with some special leather cleaner or conditioned like leather would normally need to be. Something people don't talk about much when it comes to the Model 3 is actually that the interior is fairly low maintenance. Even though the interior is beautiful in many ways, since it's lacking the sort of ultra premium materials, that actually makes it easier to clean. There has been concerns with Tesla's interior quality, but so far Tesla has been really remedying those issues. For example, the Model 3 actually used to have a sort of piano black / glossy black plastic in the center console, which used to scratch so often. People used to wrap that part of the car a lot, and I'm glad that now you don't have to do that anymore. Diving deeper into the interior of the car, I want to talk about the infotainment system. Now, of course, this really is shocking to a lot of people when they see this because it's just one gigantic screen in the center of the dashboard. But if there's one thing that Tesla has really sold me on, it's their software, without question. The touchscreen and the software is as responsive as any modern tablet. It's refreshing because I've used other infotainment systems and nothing compares to Tesla. You get a wide range of features and settings and toggles that you can switch on and off. You even get entertainment such as games or streaming services like YouTube or Netflix. Those are definitely for the times when you're charging. What's also great about Tesla's software is that the cars get constant software updates. So the car actually gets better over time. And that's something that most people are not used to. A lot of cars that do get software updates, you normally have to go back to the dealership to have them installed. You don't have to do that with Tesla at all. You can update the car anywhere. It's just like updating your phone or your computer. Back in December of 2021, Tesla released their new major update called version 11, which had a huge UI change and also brought in new features. My favorite being the blind spot camera. Incredibly useful. The software updates can actually improve the car's performance, and that's something gas cars just can't do. If there's one thing for certain about Teslas, they're leading in the software department. You also get this cool visualization on the left side of the screen that shows cars around your car. And it's so accurate, it can actually tell the difference between an SUV or a truck or a sedan. It's pretty mind-blowing. Now let's talk about charging the Model 3. The common misconception about electric vehicles is that charging them is a pain and that there aren't many chargers. But the best way to charge your electric vehicle is at home with an installed charging solution. You can also use the mobile charger that comes with your Model 3 and plug it into a dryer outlet to get reasonable charging speeds. If you're on the road and you use a Tesla supercharger, charging your car isn't really as big of an inconvenience as people think it might be. Not only are Tesla superchargers widely available, they're starting to roll out a new technology called version 3 supercharging. I've seen YouTubers who drive Teslas use the version 3 supercharger, and they get a crazy amount of miles back in the battery in only 5 minutes. Having that charging infrastructure is definitely going to accelerate the adoption of EVs even more than we're already seeing right now. All right, next up, we got to talk about autopilot. Just Being able to sit back and let the car do the driving is a technology that's something that still amazes me to this day, and I've been using it for over a year now. I mainly use it when I'm on the highway. That's really the best time to use it. Arguably one of the most annoying aspects of driving is being in stop and go traffic, and that's also one of the best times to use autopilot. One day I was driving over the Tappan Zee Bridge and I just turned on autopilot, and I can actually take the time to look around and look at the landscape and see the water and everything when I was driving. I felt like I was in a car commercial. Even with the base autopilot package, it certainly provides a great value to Teslas, and I think it's one of the best traffic-aware cruise control systems out there right now. Autopilot can even do more if you go for the full self-driving package. You get features like auto lane change, or summon, or navigate on autopilot, where the car will actually take you on and off ramp on the highways, for example. Another highlight of the Tesla Model 3 is definitely the Tesla app. The Tesla app is an essential part of the experience of owning a Tesla. You can control many aspects of the car through the app, such as heating or AC, the locks, and the front and back trunks. The app also serves as the remote key for the car, so you can just walk up to the car and it will unlock for you. Walk away from the car and it will also lock. You don't even have to think about it. You can of course also use the key card that comes with your Tesla, or you can get a traditional key fob as well. The app actually got a redesign last summer to make it look more modern. After using the Tesla app for over a year now, I think every car manufacturer should have an app with their car. Okay, now we got all that out of the way. What's it like actually driving the thing? One of the pitfalls of the internal combustion engine is how hard it is to engineer them with a low center of gravity. Porsches, for example, use a rear engine and mid-engine design. By doing this, the engine is the farthest towards the center and the lowest to the ground as possible. This isn't an issue with EVs, especially for ones that have the battery mounted to the floor. A great example of this is any Tesla, the Mustang Mach-E, or the Ford Lightning. The instant torque paired with the low center of gravity makes it an incredibly fun daily driver. The first thing I noticed when driving the Model 3 was how planted it felt on the ground. Going around turns felt easier than any internal combustion engine vehicle. The Model 3 drives like no other car, and I've driven Jeep Grand Cherokees, BMW SUVs and sedans, Cadillac SUVs, and it's not similar to any of those vehicles. The handling on the long-range Model 3 is just fantastic. And you can customize how the car actually feels in terms of the handling and even the regenerative braking as well. If you're not a big fan of the one pedal and you want the car to sort of creep forward, you can change that in the settings in the car. Before I went and test drove the Model 3 for the first time, I'd heard that when people would get behind the wheel of a Tesla and they would drive it for the first time, they would be locked in. And I can understand that. When I got in the driver's seat and drove the Model 3, within 25 seconds I knew this was the right car for me. I loved how it felt, I loved the drive. The ride is fantastic. Even passengers tell me all the time how great it is. I really don't have any complaints with how it drives. I love it. It's just so much fun to drive. I can't, it's hard to put into words. It's one of those things where you have to go out and try it for yourself. Am I gonna stick with the Model 3? And I'm gonna stick with Tesla? The answer, yes, for sure. All right, so that's everything I really like about the Tesla Model 3. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.